Everyone, we are live from Longview here at Lynn's Ice Cream and Yogurt Shop with Amy, Joe, and Kathleen.
Hi there.
So Amy, Joe, you do the belly brigade?
Yes. Yep, belly brigade.
What's that entail?
We serve a hot meal to anyone hungry every Sunday since September of 2016.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're actually at 2 locations now.
Yeah. So we were at 207 North 4th, where a lot of our predecessors used to serve, right there in the county admin courtyard in Kelso. So we wanted to expand. We wanted to be in Longview. We wanted to reach families. And in January, we took the leap, and Laundry of Love folks let us serve outside the laundromat in January.
So we did that for a few months.
We do that for a month.
For a month, yeah.
And then other businesses there asked us to leave, which is fine, because it turned out there was a church right across the way and an awesome pastor named Eli, who had heard about our situation, and he offered us his parking lot at the Foursquare Church there, and that's where we have been until last week. And so we served it right across the street from the laundromat there, trying to reach families, kids, children, you know.
And we really did.
Yeah,
Kids were riding up on their bicycles and wanting to know what we were doing,
regulars.
what's going on. And so
parents dropped some of them off right there on Sundays to eat with us.
So we feel like it was a good move for us to go ahead and reach some of those families in that neighborhood or the surrounding neighborhoods.
That's good that you're reaching families that way.
Yeah.
Helping them.
Yeah, that was the whole goal, was to hopefully, you know, and blacks, things like that.
I think we really see that because every week we have some of our regulars that drive up in cars. It's not just homeless people. I think it's people just trying to make their dollar stretch. You know, it's and at the first of the month we can see our numbers decline a little bit, but it's
For
just
reasons, yeah.
for reasons, yeah. So
Which I think every group that we've spoke to, they experience that too. Yeah.
Well, because even families that work, they have a hard time
Sure.
making things,
Well, and that's
making ends meet.
That's exactly why, one of the main reasons why we do this. You know, not every family gets to have food stamps. Some of them make just a little tiny bit too much to get any kind of help and assistance. So I've been the parent on assistance. I've been the homeless. I've been now to where I don't qualify for assistance, you know, and you try to make every single penny count.
Yeah.
Every single penny.
So we feel like we're making a difference somewhat in the community.
Well, that's good.
And it's not just about a meal.
Mhm.
Belly Brigade is more than that. We always say that. It's not just a meal. In fact, before I came here today, we kind of did the hustle. What we call the hustle.
Healthy hustle, yeah.
You know, it was just, and it's all pretty much on Facebook, but someone put out a message in our group that there was someone that just fled a domestic violence situation, and so she had nothing, and so we're looking for diapers for her child, and clothing for her, and just some essential stuff, and I was able to grab some clothing, and somebody came by from Belly Brigade and picked it up and was going on her way, making rounds at some of the other Belly Brigaders. So yeah, the hustle, it happens.
That's good.
I like to say it's a well-oiled machine, Belly Brigade, but I know it's not well-oiled. There's a lot of
components. I don't know.
Yeah, it can be really exhausting. but it just feels right, Last week, or not this week, but last week, we'd been offered several of the Belly Brigade members are also board members and stuff of the Highlands Neighborhood Association.
Oh.
So my friend Donna, who's the president over there and doing huge things with the community over there, and then Kimberly, she grew this huge garden to feed everyone this summer. They're also Belly Brigade and H&A. With the winter coming up, the winter is really rough on everybody, not just the folks that we serve, but us as servers. It's so cold. We got offered to use the Highlands Community Center. Mm-hmm. So this was our second Sunday indoors, and we know it's going to be different this winter, where folks can sit down and be warm for an hour instead of, we've had pop-ups blow away. We've had to wear our snow boots. We froze.
We had to stop and go get in our car and try to get warm back up because our hands were frozen. And we think about the people that were there to serve, and we're only out there for an hour and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
So it kind of really, so we were glad to have the opportunity to go inside, not just for ourselves, but, let everyone else get out of the weather for a little bit too.
So it's, the only thing is I feel bad for our Kelso crew. We have pretty much like 3 or 4 of them are solid over there, and would really like to find them a place for the winter so that they're not out in the cold also,
There's no church or anything that
Well, we have a couple people saying that they are going to check with churches. So I'm just waiting to
try to see what that umbrella is. Oh.
I'm just waiting to see, we're just waiting to see if anyone responds.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're in the Kelso area and you know a church or somewhere that would house the Belly Brigade for 1 hour during the winter, we'll gladly leave when the sun comes back up in 9 months.
I'll keep my ears
just
open.
let us know.
You never know.
No, that would be appreciated very much.
But it sounds like in Longview, you already got a place that will help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our first night or first meal at the community center was over 70. It was, I think we were all kind of looking at each other like, wow. And of course we were driving back and forth from the church to there telling everyone, we're over here, even though we had already spread the word. Not everybody hears, So,
they just kept coming and coming.
Yeah.
And
did we run out of food?
We ran out of food because I had made this huge tray. We had donated some zucchini squash, and I was trying to think of a way to utilize that. And I had this big tray of Italian sausage, and it was like this big, and it was gone. And I was taking that empty tray out to my car, and this little boy rolled up on his bicycle and said, "What's in the tray?" I said, "It's nothing, it's gone." And he said, "Do you have more food?"
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyway, I kind of took him by the hand and escorted him in, and we had some things left, some fruit and cookies and stuff like that. But we don't like to run out of food.
At all.
We don't like to run out
and
of food.
In January, we were the recipients of the 100 Women.
Oh.
They chose us. Mm-hmm. They chose us, and one day, I want to say it was like 5 months ago. No, it's probably in April, and we had we post roll calls. We learned that from our friends at Feed the Need. Amanda and Bonnie and Lynn over there. They would post these roll calls each week, and everybody would sign up under it, so you would know what was being brought. And so we started doing that, and just learning from the ones that had been there before us. And there was no one signed up for Longview or Kelso. And I remember panicking. And then I was like, wait a minute, we have money.
She's like, we've got money.
We've got money. They gave us money to feed people. And, what's happened is on Saturdays or Sunday mornings, if it looks like it's going to be low, I'll go grab and pick up some stuff at the grocery stores and make sure that, Diane from the Kelso crew will swing by our Longview meal because we're an hour before them. And like if I have stuff, she'll come and pick up her stuff to take. And it's really worked out. We since I want to say it's been 28 weeks or so, we've served over 2,000 plates of food since the end of January alone. And I want to add a couple hundred more because I don't have the numbers on me right now, but keep track each week. So that's, it's all by generosity that this happens, but by being the recipients of the 100 women, it has really taken a load off of a lot of us that are the ones, that are there constantly and worrying. I will be honest, I do not do the food. I go and get the food, or if somebody brings me food donations, I'll make sure I get it there, but I don't cook at home because, honestly, I don't ever rest.
Yeah. This is the heart and soul right here of Belly Brigade.
Oh, she's very busy
nonstop.
lady.
Yeah, she's nonstop.
I'm learning to delegate.
Sort of.
Yeah. So I don't ever, I can't ever say any of that good food is something that I made in my kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Because it's probably not.
And that'd be a lot of work for you, too.
Well, I mean, there's generally at least 4 people every week that make kind of a main dish, and then others fill in. Like this coming Sunday, we're actually, it kind of works well if we have kind of a meal planned, like we're doing a baked potato bar.
Yeah, and we already went and got those supplies.
So, the week before was like the taco bar, and it's kind of nice to have a kind of a theme, and that goes over a little better to make
It
sure.
actually does, and we kind of forgot to do that for a minute.
Yeah.
But Kathleen and Eliza and Grams, they're basically the food people for Longview, and like the base that the last 6 months have been so grateful for. And then there's Diane and Tammy and Carrie over at the Kelso, and Des that they're the base over there. And like, honestly, I panic if they were to go away because I don't know what would.
When one person is missing from either group, it's like,
I panic. Yeah. And everything always works out every single time.
That's good.
There's never been.
Well, there was a time that we were really light on sign up, and we had a donation from someone that there was a memorial service for a family member, and they said, "Oh, we want to give the leftovers to you." And so then I went and picked up a bunch of sandwiches from Subway that they had, like 4-foot long sandwiches.
Wow.
Like, oh my gosh! But I didn't know what I'm going to do with these to store in my refrigerator overnight till the next till the feed. But it all worked out. But it seems like same thing has happened. You've had friends that got married throughout the summer, and there was leftover food, and they wanted to donate.
It's amazing how they throw away the food, like after McDonald's closes or Burger King, when they could utilize that food to feed someone that's hungry.
Well, and we've had some great donations from some locals here in town.
Yeah. One of my friend's moms, she works at Safeway, and she's hooked us up a couple times. And then, like, and the same gal, one of my best friends, she just got married, and of course, where did the food go?
Yeah.
They were like, "Okay, Joe, come and get the food," So there's been a couple weddings, and there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people to thank. We have a lot of supporters. I don't actually feel like we've had anyone that was not for what we do. We've had Jeff and Trish Wilson have donated waters, and in the summer brought box fans down.
Wow.
They're a wonderful couple. They've been great to us. Then they're
awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome people. And a couple weeks, Bill Josh, is making chili and asking if we need more water. And then we have the folks at different facilities, shelters that call and they're like, "Hey, we have this extra. Do you want to come and get it?" And there's just like so many people that, I just feel pretty positive. I just feel like we're supported in the community with what we do, because there's just a lot of stuff around, And I just feel like we're blessed that that we just keep getting contributed to, you know.
That's great.
There's Red Hat. That's another one I want to
That's a
say.
good organization.
So Red Hat has given us, my friends down at Red Hat, Dana and Danielle, they've given us, hats, sleeping bags, coats, gloves, so much. Like, hey, we got a pickup for you to swing through the back, you know. They've contributed the whole 2 years, you know. They'll just call me and let me know. There was, for a minute, there was a bakery here that if we showed up at a certain time, they would donate to us. And I'm not really sure what happened there. Possibly it isn't around anymore.
Fraser's Bakery, was that?
No, but that's another one.
Yeah.
We have the we have a gentleman.
Fraser's is still going?
From Fran's Bakery.
Franz, yeah, we have a gentleman that
too.
texts Eliza in the middle of the week and it's like, okay, what's your bread order?
Oh.
And then little Barbara from the Kelso crew, she wants 4 loaves of bread so she can make sandwiches, you know. And so we no longer, you know, have to try to find that because that bread comes, you know. There's just so many people to thank, and
appreciate the continued support because it just takes off some of the, you know, off of us.
And the gals from Feed the Need. The one gal, Lynn, you know, one day I panicked. We had no food, and she showed up with a huge casserole.
Wow.
She's come by my house after Feed the Need and said, here's a chili mac, you know. Amanda from Feed the Need, way in the beginning, was completely helped us and showed us, you know, and taught us that a lot of the folks, it's hard to get rid of apples because a lot of folks, well, you know, that we serve are older or and whatnot, and it's hard for them to eat apples, you know, just little things like that. We just learn something new all the time, you know. I want to say, and then there's been like a lot of the gals, I see them all the time on Facebook. There'll be someone asking for something. I'll see my gals saying, oh, what do you need? How can I get that for you? And then it won't even be on the Belly Brigade page, you know. And, you know, many of the gals in the winter have done the warming shelter at Love Overwhelming where they brought in food and they sat there and, you know, made sure people were okay for the night. It's beautiful to watch the people that I have surrounded myself with in this organization, you know. And we are we're a nonprofit called Cascadia Cares, so we're a project of that. And my friend Kat started that in Lewis County, and the Cascadia Cares. And so she, it's like like an umbrella, you know. So we're a nonprofit under them. And we just want to make Cascadia Care Project Belly Brigades in every county.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, and everything we do, and you know, it stays right here. So even though they're located in Lewis County, everything stays right here in Cowlitz County.
Sounds like you guys are doing a great job feeding people and making sure they don't go hungry.
Yeah, we just anybody who's hungry gets a plate. We don't discriminate. We don't ask anyone for money, anything like that. Just anybody who's hungry, if you show up on that time. The sad part is when we're already about out the door and someone shows up, you know, late.
Yeah.
And we're trying to scramble through all of our leftovers.
Well, we start at 4 o'clock. So
in Longview.
And at Longview, and Kelso starts at 5 o'clock. But at 4 o'clock, either location. I mean, there's a lineup that starts, and by 4:20, that line, everybody's pretty much gone through. And if there's enough, you know, we wait a little bit before we let people have seconds. But the last few times, our numbers have just seemed to go up a little bit.
Yeah.
One of the major items I think that's kind of racking up the cost are the paper products. I mean, you could go to Cash and Carry or Costco or whatever and get a big, you know, stack of paper plates. You're feeding, you know, 75 people in one swoop. It doesn't take long where all your paper products are
Wouldn't it be cool if we had like trays and like a little portable dishwasher. I don't know. That's probably not real. I would not want to. You know, my husband's found so many different pans in the garage that I forgot about. And he's like, "Are you going to wash that?" Because I'll forget. I'll just unload the car.
I've done that. I left something in the back of my car. And then about the third day, I think, what is that stink in my car?
You know,
it's like, oh, dang, I left.
That's exactly what I was just going to say to you, too. Eliza gave me a case of eggs. Are they still good if they're not in the refrigerator?
I think they're supposed to be refrigerated.
Yeah,
but, you know,
Okay, well, I will go purchase new eggs because they're still in my trunk. From
Oh,
Sunday.
no. How long have they been in your trunk?
Since Sunday.
whoops.
I don't think they're any good.
Oh, dang.
Sorry, Eliza. I will go buy another
I know
case.
they store them in like a storeroom when they first get all the eggs, but I know when we buy them at the store, we have to store them in the fridge. Otherwise, they're no good.
Well, you get salmonella too.
All right. Well,
Or you can save them for a Halloween joke.
I just went to get my coat out of my trunk to come in here, and there they were.
Like, well, they might.
Which
yeah.
is happening a lot with
Hopefully
me
they don't
because
You should see her car. I mean, it's.
we call them the Belly Brigade cars. All the girls, like
Yeah.
Dee and Cynthia and Tammy and Rick, and we just all would cart this stuff around because when we first started, we were serving soup and cocoa from our
Trunk
trunks.
of their car.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And then the folks were like, oh, well, I really need a coat or I really need some pants. And they were like, okay, well, now we got to go get clothes. And then the next day we come and I remember it so clearly, like that second night, it was pouring down rain. We were on the sidewalk there by where Love Overwhelming was now.
Uh-huh.
And that's where kind of where we served, where they used to be. And it was raining and there was clothes spread all over the sidewalk because everybody was digging through it. And then I would just pick it back up and we just throw, and one of the gals, Dee, she drove around. She could never pick any of her friends up for like months because, sorry, I can't. I have Belly Brigade stuff in the car. Some of it's comical. Some of it's funny, but yeah, we're always looking for volunteers. We have a roll call on our group page, and you can sign up either at Kelso or Longview for what you'd like to, contribute. And then we have people that, they can't come and help physically, but they'll make something and we can swing by and get it from them. So everybody's pitching in a different way.
That's awesome.
Before our Longview meal, we do say grace at the Longview meal. That's something that we've been trying to stick to, and we do say if you don't want to say grace, you don't have to. But we do try to bless our meals. But we're not a religious group. We're spiritual. We're not church bound or whatever I'm saying. But a lot of us are very spiritual, and
We actually have sweatshirts that were made that say Hope Dealer. And then it has the Belly Brigade logo on the back. But sometimes it's just a kind word to someone.
Yeah, a kind word that really helps a person.
Right. Just a kind word and a hot meal and
there's like a lot of folks that we've gotten to know in the Highlands area that they do have homes. They're just barely getting by.
Yeah.
We were just for if anyone's watching, we were doing to-go snacks where we'd make these little baggies to go and they'd have granola bars or gummy snacks or whatever. But the amount that it's costing us to make those is ridiculous. We could be serving more food and it could last a lot longer. So we've decided that we're not going to do that anymore. We'll feed you a good hot, meal. But it is,
Yeah, that would cost more to have like the trail mix thing.
it was actually getting pretty crazy, and at one time I made this executive decision. I was like, we're not doing these anymore. And both meals afterwards, people were like really mad. Like, where's my snacks? And I was like, okay, maybe I, shouldn't have made that decision on my own. That's what my whole group is for. But, so we went back to it. And now when we added up, that money could have been spent on getting meatloaves or hams, you know what I mean? That we could get it cash and carry, and everyone could take a little bit of meat and put it in their freezer, and we could turn that into a whole meal.
Yeah.
So it's just, we're not going to buy any snacks anymore.
And someone's going to be unhappy anyway.
Yeah, and then we have Bev Jones. Bless her, she has helped us so much. Bev Jones does the food bank on Thursdays up at the Faith Christian Center, the old Zion Church. So on Thursdays, our gal Kim goes and picks up all kinds of random goodies for us, usually a fresh fruit or a vegetable, and that's helped so much, you know.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Do you have questions?
Well, I think what you guys are doing is great. You know, there should be more people like you out there willing to help somebody.
There's a lot here, though. There really is.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot.
Yeah.
But there could be more, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Oh,
the
there's
more you have, the more you can do.
Yeah, that's
But you guys are doing awesome.
Yeah,
It's like one time at home, I had these shoes that were too small for me, and I couldn't use the lady walking by. And I had the shoes. I knew she was homeless. I didn't care. Take the shoes.
You didn't need them.
I didn't even take them.
That's how it works.
Yeah, we've had people take their shoes off and hand them to somebody.
Yeah.
It's like I went across the street and gave people cookies. A homeless guy comes up, I'm taking a cookie. I said, I don't care if they're for to eat.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
I was homeless once, and I understand how it is.
Yeah.
But when we were at the shelter, we all bonded together and helped each other. Like the first person that got a job, they'd go out and buy hamburgers, and we'd
nice.
feed everyone.
Nice.
Or if they were going to throw away chicken at Kentucky Fried Chicken, we'd go behind the back there and we'd take it with us to go feed everybody at the mission.
Nice.
You know how much food is wasted? Yeah.
We'd make a meal like they was going to throw away potatoes and gravy and biscuits and chickens. We just took it with us.
Yeah. Just ask, what are you going to do with that? Or stand there when you know the time.
Or they
I guess.
want to throw away all the donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. We take the bag of donuts. We go have fun. There's a pot of coffee. We'd feed all the homeless people that were with us at the mission years ago. Of course, then we all got a job and we better for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of homeless people, they kind of help each other.
Yeah. No, they seem to, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have a few regulars that I want to say we've been working with for the past 2 years, and so it's when you don't see them, you get kind of nervous, like, you know, and so you ask and hey, and they're like, oh yeah, she's okay, you know. When you don't see them, you wonder.
Because you're used to them being homeless.
I'm used to them being at our meal.
Your
Yeah.
meals, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like when Amy Jo said she doesn't cook in her kitchen,
Uh-huh.
it's not like she's just sitting back at the feet. She's doing all the
Sounds like she's
networking.
out and doing
Oh,
everything.
she's talking to everybody and see what those needs are. You know,
Yeah, I
she's-
just try to make sure I mingle and
she
touch
picks up the
base.
trash.
That's kind of what I do.
Well, and you care about people and stuff, which
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, the relationships are important.
I think I'll let you do the shout out.
So where's the address for this?
Yeah, where's the address? I was gonna
Okay,
ask.
So
so
people wanted to make donations, they could make
okay,
donations.
so on Sundays at 4 we serve in Longview at 292 21st Avenue, and that's at the Highlands Neighborhood Community Center, right there next to Archie Anderson Park. And there's a lot of good stuff going on in the Highlands too.
And we're out in Kelso, did you say?
And Kelso is 207 North 4th. It's in the county admin courtyard, right there where the post office is, that building across the street.
There's some benches.
Right there, that big red building that's in the courtyard above it.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
then
okay.
if somebody wanted to make like food donations or anything, where would they go?
They drop
They would
it off
drop them off.
there.
They would,
They drop
yeah.
it off there?
Either of
if
those
they,
locations.
or please join our Facebook group. Add yourself to our group.
Mhm.
Eliza posts the roll call for the Longview area. It's so look for it. And then Diane posts the roll call for the Kelso.
Okay.
Longview serves at 4 and Kelso serves at 5. And I meant to bring you flyers, but that's my MO.
So you
Getting
just
the
serve on
flyers.
Sunday?
Sundays,
Yeah,
every Sunday.
every Sunday since September of 2016. And it was 10 of us gals with our cars in trunks. And crock pots, not plugged in, but they had been plugged in. 10 of us is, we saw a need and we felt it in our heart. And there's just a lot of people in the community. I just want to say thank you for, believing in us and supporting us. And anytime I throw a panic call or cry out on the Belly Brigade page, someone always answers it. It's like, okay, what is it that you need? So I'm in recovery. I am, and several of us gals are. Some of us are not. And most of us that are in recovery are the ones that began this. But so there'll be women or men in recovery that are just getting, they're getting some clean time. They're feeling good. They're getting their own places. Or women get their children back, and they'll reach out and be like, hey, I just got my first apartment. Can you help me find a couch? So we'll just post, hey, does anybody have a couch they don't want? Or hey, I need some kids' clothes, which happened today, or things like that. We try to do that healthy hustle, because people have those things laying around that somebody else.
So how long have you been in recovery?
I'll be 7 in November.
That's good.
Yeah. Yep, and that's another part of me is I'm always trying to help another addict, and that's where a lot of the girls are, is help another addict to get clean, and
Well, and they're the ones in recovery are the ones that can really help the guy get clean, because they've been there. They know what's going on.
Yeah.
Kind of like I was a foster child, and I can talk to other kids that are living in foster homes
Right.
and are having a rough time.
Right.
In fact, they wanted me to be an advocate, but I never went for it.
Right, because I probably couldn't talk to you about that because I wouldn't know what that was like for you. But there are other people that have been affected by addiction that are still really good at it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, well, I've been affected by it too. My family.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what we do.
Good for you.
All right, I give this shout out.
Yeah, I'll let you do the rest. Shout out.
All right, Rachel in California, and MB Fontaine of Olympia, Bonnie Jeffries, Vancouver, Susan Williams, England, Vitalis,
Hi,
Kenya,
Vitalis.
Africa.
I hope it ain't hot there.
Robin Davis in Idaho, Connie Chitwood,
Hi, Connie.
Sneed, Winlock area, Lorena Fosterworth, Vader, Candy Kane.
Hi, Candy Cane. I can't wait to see you in
That's
Seattle.
cool. Seattle. Debbie Fall Hutter in Vancouver. Steve Lloyd in Vancouver. Doug Knapp, Monroe, Washington. Don Barcombe. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on.
Just had you gave it to
Hi,
you.
Don.
Just had to
How are
start
the
wearing them. For Grand Forks, North Dakota, huh? Rick Wright, Columbia, South Carolina. Carol Weir, Bremerton, Washington. And Connie Disher, Cleveland,
Georgia.
Oh,
Good job.
right on. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for having us.
No problem. Thank you. I hope I was a good host.
You were.
You were fine.
Thank you.
You were. I can't wait to eat this delicious burger and fries from Lynn's.
Yeah.
It looks good. It
Well,
smells good.
another great night and live from Longview. Everyone have a good evening. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Have you ever thought about going over to Frito-Lay and get their outdated stuff? You guys are, do you have a license?
We have.
We're a nonprofit.
Serious.
Yeah, you can, because they.
Did I do it?
Getting a bunch
I know, it's just getting someone to get over there and get it done and do it.
Frito-Lay in Longview, or is it?